Hey everybody, it's the Keto Baron. I've had a very long weekend and a month. I am completely pooped. So I want to get to a real quick kind of rundown of what I learned this week and kind of how my week went. This week and this month was a very social. I had to go really out in amongst everybody else and kind of function and survive. And this weekend was no different. Liverpool came to Pittsburgh, the soccer team. I went to the game. We had a tailgate. UFC last night with the same friends. We watched the UFC fight. Norman, Jen, if you're listening, I had a fantastic time. Thank you so much. It was a blast. I can't wait to do it again. But diet wise, it presented some challenges. There was also a tailgate yesterday for the Pirates, for the Pittsburgh Pirates. I stopped down there. And all of that went great. In terms of keto, in terms of all those things. I tried a new trick I want to tell everybody about, which is using apple cider vinegar. My sugar levels stayed in check. I had a teaspoon in water. I know some people don't like the taste, but you can see I got the stuff with the quote unquote mother in it. It must be Glenn Danzig's favorite treat, a way to reduce his blood sugar. But I had a tablespoon of that each day. My diet consisted of some pork belly, which I'll show here. I made that with something called, and I'll show you guys, Swerve, which is a sugar substitute. Let me pull this out of the package here. They're what we keep it in. Here's the Swerve, as you can see that. That is a natural sugar substitute. The ultimate sugar replacement, it says on the back. It is made with erythritol and allulose, and it's 2 tablespoons is 8 grams of carbohydrates, but 6 of those are sugar alcohol. Your body does not process those, so they get kind of pushed through you. The only thing I would say with this is, I'm putting it in a mix with other things. And, a quarter cup or half cup is going over 5, 6, 7 pounds of pork belly. If you eat like candy that has sugar alcohol in it, you got to watch how much you eat because it will go through you, it will give you some stomach discomfort and things like that. So, but the way I used it on the pork belly, I used that around the 4th of July as well. It went absolutely fantastic. My blood sugar numbers were wonderful, between 90 and 100 for the most part. I dropped actually to 82 after a workout, but no spikes whatsoever that I could notice from when I was tracking, which brings me to a couple other things and what I wanted to talk about. Some tips, some things that are useful, or some important information. Uh, Folks that are on keto always want to talk about where can you go out to eat. And there's Buffalo Wild Wings is a great avenue. Burger patties from a fast food place, just the patties. A bunch of folks have talked about that. You go to a steak restaurant or a Texas de Brazil, which is a Brazilian steakhouse. Great idea. Of course, when you go to the steakhouse, that's not a Brazilian steakhouse. You just get a steak, and if you're keto, you have very few vegetables with it, like asparagus or Brussels sprouts or what have you. Something that won't. Obviously, you can't have dessert. You can't have any of the starchy vegetables with it. It's probably not a good idea. I wouldn't say you can't, but if you want to blow up your ketosis through potato, by all means, I won't stop you. But we all know or have those ideas. The one place that's kind of a down low, secret, decent keto option is going to Bob Evans. Now, Bob Evans has a couple of things on the menu: the whole hog and their 3 egg omelets. Both of those, now they serve them with some carbs, whether it's like a pancake or a muffin or fruit or home fries or stuff like that. You can tell them you don't need them. As simple as that. And then you get a 3 egg omelet. I got one yesterday with cheddar cheese, bacon, and sausage in there. I've done the whole hog before, which is like 4 or 5 different pieces of pork. That's a popular option when we go up to see my son in Ohio and we have breakfast with him. That's what I do. And I even had a little piece of the bread that they serve with it. They serve biscuits. I took a piece and then I worked out. I wanted to see what my blood sugar would do. It dropped, so I was able to burn that in there. But I didn't have, if I had half, that would have been a lot. So that's one of the things that I wanted to learn and pass along from the past week that I thought would be really important to people as well as the tailgating. Uh, when we went, you're going to have drinks. You're at a tailgate. At least I am. I'm not a big drinker, as I've said a few times before, but I found something new, and that is polar seltzer water with a shot of vodka in it. And I have that here. The raspberry lime here, as you can see, is the one option I went with. And I bring up what to drink because a lot of times it can be difficult to find something to drink. Diet-wise was easy for me with the pork belly. My friend that we went to go see the game in the UFC with, he made a keto cottage cheese, a smoked, not cottage cheese, smoked cream cheese that had bacon and onions in it. So it was very low carb. The food options were easy. We had some pulled pork, again, very easy with a pork belly. Buffalo chicken dip is another easy keto-friendly meal. But drinking kind of becomes a problem. And, do you have a light beer? Do you have a whiskey? Do you have vodka? What do you have? I found that this, together with the vodka, was no carbs, it was no calories, nothing like that. And it was kind of enjoyable. It was kind of delicious, and it let me stay and be social. And the last thing I wanted to mention is the other big takeaway from this week was I managed to cut diet soda completely out and monitor those effects pretty closely. And this goes back to a discussion I had with my doctor months ago. And I was like, I can't drink diet soda. And she was like, oh, no, you can. And here's Sprite Zero, and here is Diet Pepsi. So two different versions of the same type of idea, both made with aspartame. And what I found in my blood sugar is that if I don't drink this stuff, my blood sugar behaves a lot better. I don't mean it creates crazy spikes like Coke and Pepsi would with high fructose corn syrup. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is my blood sugar doesn't go down, or at the very least it goes up 10, 15, let's say. And that's what I really noticed. And I was about 15 points lower over the week at times when I did not have that. When I went through my tailgating stuff over the course of the weekend and going to a party and things like that, I didn't have any soda. And my blood sugar really responded well for that stuff not being in my diet. Now, doctors will tell you not to do stuff. A lot of hardcore, whether carnivore or keto folks, I don't know what their advice is. I know that we live as social beings, and sometimes it can't be avoided. And what I'm trying to give you, in part of what I do, is also what I do in these situations. This was a very hectic month socially. It was the first time I was really out and about with people on a consistent basis almost all month long. And I'm pretty okay with the results, and I'm pretty okay with what I learned. I learned that I'm going to stay away from diet sodas. I learned what I can drink when I need to have one, and I mean need in a social setting, that, to still carry that on. That's practical, right? Like, the practicality of what we're doing is, it makes a lot of sense on paper, it makes a lot of sense in practice, but then when you put it out of the vacuum of your own home and interact with people, you have to find the keto options, and that's what I want to provide everybody here. That's what I learned this month, what I can and can't do, and I hope you can take some away from that. If you have any questions, let me know. And that's pretty much all I have for this week. Oh, and I wanted to remind everybody that once you get on this diet, that no food will taste as good as success feels. Thanks, and have a good one.